Welcome back to another video of Pulsating Biology. We were discussing on the chapter Nutrition and Plant, and I've already covered the topic for photosynthesis in the previous video. We're going to talk about it in a bit more detail in this video. We will be discussing the limiting factors that are related to the photosynthesis. When you talk about limiting factors are termed as those factors that can affect the presence of photosynthesis. When you talk about limiting factors regarding photosynthesis, it includes some of them that says the concentration of carbon dioxide, that is the presence of carbon dioxide and its absence. Another one is the light intensity, how much stronger, how much in less intensity there is a presence of light. At the third pointer, we have the temperature. The temperature variation does affect the presence and the process of photosynthesis. And on the fourth pointer, we have the fate of glucose, that is the product that is formed. That is the fate of glucose. We will be discussing one of them each of them one by one in a bit detail. Let's talk about the concentration of carbon dioxide first. So when it comes to the concentration of carbon dioxide is necessary for making carbohydrate in plant. What is the purpose of carbon dioxide? It basically is involved in making the carbohydrate in the process of photosynthesis, which is involved in plants. If this concentration of carbon dioxide drops in environment, the photosynthesis process slows down basically. So you can in terms say that the presence of carbon dioxide is directly proportional to the process of photosynthesis. That means whenever there is the decrease in the concentration of carbon dioxide, we say that the process of photosynthesis also decreases. But when there is an increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide, the process of photosynthesis also increases. Thus, the carbon dioxide has a very directional relation with the photosynthesis that in turn is very helpful with regard to the environment. And this is how the carbon dioxide is linked with the photosynthesis. We've talked about the carbon dioxide. Let's come on to the light intensity. Well, when you talk about the light intensity, photosynthesis occur in more intense light. Photosynthesis prefer there when there is more amount of light presence in the environment. So this is also a relation that we say is directly proportional. So photosynthesis is directly proportional to the intensity of light. When we say this, that there is a direct relation of photosynthesis and the light intensity, it means whenever there is an increase in the light intensity, there would be an increase in the process of photosynthesis, or it will be speeding up when there is more amount of light present for the process of photosynthesis. That's how we deal with the carbon dioxide and light intensity, that how they are directly related to the process of photosynthesis and helps the plant to be perform photosynthesis more efficiently. Let's come on to the third pointer, which is a very confusing point for most of the students, that is the temperature. When you talk about temperature, if the temperature is raised, it increases the rate of reaction. It is very simple. Along with the carbon dioxide light intensity, the temperature is also directly proportional with the photosynthesis. Whenever there is increase in the temperature, that means then there is increase in the warmness or in the environment, we say there is increase in the photosynthesis. And why is it so? It is because whenever there is presence of precipitations on the leaf of the plant, the warm temperature helps it to be more humid. Thus, there is more evaporation from these stromatal points, and thus it increases the point of photosynthesis. This is how the process of photosynthesis is speeded up whenever there is an increase in the temperature. Well, whenever there is a decrease in the temperature, what happens is the humidity decreases. Thus, the plant is not able to precipitate much more quantity. Thus, we say that the process of photosynthesis is basically limited. This is how we can relate the temperature with the photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide, light intensity, and temperature, three of them are directly proportional with the photosynthesis. They were very direct relation. Whenever there would be increase in each of them, the photosynthesis process will be doubled, and whenever there is a decrease, the photosynthesis process will be slowed down. Now, this is how we talk about carbon dioxide, light intensity, and the temperature. For the next slide, we are going to discuss about the fate of glucose. All right. So when you talk about the fate of glucose, we all know that glucose is the end product that is formed in the photosynthesis. This is for what reason mostly the plants are performing photosynthesis because of the requirement of the glucose that is the core source of food for most of the plants. So why glucose is important? Basically, glucose is utilized for the cellular respiration. For the process of cellular respiration, the glucose is utilized. It is also used to make cellulose in the cell wall. We all know that the plant's cell wall is made up of a certain material that we say is the cellulose. So the plant cell wall is made up of a material that is famously known as the cellulose. The cellulose material is important and it is formed whereby the glucose. So basically, it is used to make glucose is used to make cellulose that is present in the cell wall of a plant cell. On number third pointer, we can call it that glucose is converted to sucrose for storage in various parts. So sucrose is another form of the carbohydrate in which the glucose is converted in order to be formed in a storage form. The sucrose is the storage molecule of the carbohydrate. That's how the glucose is stored in any body of a plant. On the fourth pointer, we say that excessive amount of glucose is converted into starch as a reserve food at time due to the high rate of photosynthesis, and it is converted into glucose at night. That's how the conversion of glucose with the starch basically take place. Whenever we need to store glucose, we store it in the form of starch. At the night, whenever we require glucose, it is converted back to glucose at the point as when we do not require it in the form of glucose, it is converted back to the starch. This is a very commonly occurring cycle in the plant when it comes to the glucose. Okay, now on the fifth pointer, we say that the glucose helps in the formation of protein by forming amino acids. When they are added, when the nitrates are added in it. So basically, it is responsible for the formation of proteins. Why so? Because they have the amino acid. They form the amino acid, and by the formation of amino acid, whenever the nitrates are added to it, they in turn forms the protein. Amino acids are the minor molecules of the proteins that joins up together to form the protein. On the sixth pointer, we say that these proteins are used in the development of a plant structure. The protein that is formed by the glucose is used in the plant structure. It helps to maintain the plant structure and build up a more efficient plant structure. Well, for the last point, that is the seventh point, we can call it that glucose also helps in the formation of fat. So glucose ends point with the formation of fats. These are the seven pointers that helps the glucose being an important part of photosynthesis. That is the cellular respiration. Glucose is responsible for the cellular respiration. It is also responsible for the production of cellulose. That is the main component of the plant cell wall. It is converted into sucrose and then it is used for the further purposes. But if you want to store glucose, then it is converted into starch. However, whenever you don't need glucose in its original form, then we convert it back into the starch where it is formed, where it is stored into the body in the form of starch. It also makes the protein with the help of amino acid, and that protein structure helps to build the plant structure. All right, the seventh point says that it helps in the formation of fats. That's all the pointers that are required for you to learn when it comes to the fate of glucose. All right, for the next slide, we have the topic that is the importance of photosynthesis. We have already discussed the process of photosynthesis, that how the solar energy from the sun is converted into the chemical energy that in turn gives the food to the plant. So this transformation of energy basically results at the formation of food for the plants is the process of photosynthesis. Let's have a look at the importance of photosynthesis. Well, photosynthesis is a process to convert and trap the solar energy. So the solar energy can be used for several purposes. So basically, it traps the solar energy, which is very important for several purposes. The another pointer that tells us the importance of photosynthesis is that it helps us by providing energy, glucose, protein, and fats to other organisms by herbivore or the grazing. You mean? So this is the second pointer, that is for the provision of energy. So basically, it is responsible for providing the energy. And the third pointer, we can say that it helps in the formation of coal. So it helps in the coal formation. Photosynthesis plays a very important role in the coal formation. It also purifies the air by removing carbon dioxide and the adding oxygen. That's the fourth pointer we have, that it basically purifies the air by removing carbon dioxide and by adding oxygen. These are the four major pointers when it comes to the importance of photosynthesis. That it traps the solar energy. Solar energy is used for these several purposes, mainly by converting the solar energy into the chemical energy that is used by plant as a source of their food. Another pointer is the providing energy. The third pointer says that it is responsible for the coal formation, and the fourth pointer will say that it is responsible for purifying air by basically reducing carbon dioxide and adding more amount of oxygen, which is very helpful for the environment. And by adding these benefits, the importance of photosynthesis is basically fulfilled.